Yeah, my name is Palani Mohan. I was born in India, brought up in Australia, and I've been living in Asia for the last 17 years. And I'm represented by Reportage by Getty Images. Well, this project was a 5-year project that I shot, and it's really around the last remaining 50 to 60 of the true eagle hunters left on the very northwest edge of Mongolia, on the China-Russia Mongolia, Kazakhstan border. It's taken me 5 years to do. I went there many times to visit these guys, and I lived with them for quite a bit of time. It was definitely one of the hardest things that I've had to do as a photographer because of the temperatures that I had to deal with and the difficulties of, not because I was so cold, because my camera was just completely giving me a really hard time. When I was a young 17-year-old working for the Sydney Morning Herald as a photographer, I saw my first photograph of a Kazakh eagle hunter. It was in a black and white image, and it was in a newspaper. And I remember that image really well from a very, very long time ago, and I've never forgotten that image. And decades later, when I was living in Hong Kong, it was a great opportunity for me I had some time, and I thought, well, I thought about this project, and I just went off and did it. I didn't really know what I was trying to do. I wanted to take some portraits, but I didn't really know what the story was until, like all good things, you need to go and hit the ground to actually find out what the story was. And once I found out there's only a handful of these guys left, the true eagle hunters left, and each winter claims a few more. And they're dying off really, and the young people don't want to take it up. And I just thought, well, it was a calling, and I just thought that I should do it. I met this amazing man when I was there. His name was Ozak Khan, and he was the oldest and the greatest of all the eagle hunters. He's 94 years old, and meeting him had a huge impact on me and the project, because I learned so much from what was truly happening to the eagle hunters and the environment and the eagles and the foxes and the wolves and everything else through him. And whenever I felt like it was just not going well or giving up, when I met him and spoke to him about it, he gave me it was like a big injection of confidence in my arms. So he was the anchor of my book, really. And there are a couple of photographs of him in the book, but everything sort of really plays around of his thoughts and his advice and his guidance of what I should be looking for. Well, I think you just need to you just need to believe in what you're doing. I really believed in this project. I just connected with it when I found out, and when I started meeting these guys. And for example, one guy I photographed one year, the next year he was dead, and I just felt like it was just, I have to do it. I guess there was an inner voice saying that you need to go on with this, because I gave up a lot of time away from my family. I gave up well-paid commercial assignments that were waiting for me back in Hong Kong to go off and do this project. And at times, well, actually most of the times, things did not go my way. We would drive for a day and a half and there'll be nothing there, and you sort of think, what am I doing here? And you're cold and you're miserable and you're hungry and you're angry and all those things. But I guess end of the day, you just think, you got to believe in yourself that you're working on something that's important for you anyway. And a lot of the times it's quite a lonely existence. Well, the first time I went there, I just funded it myself. I would say that this is my 5th book project, and all of them I started off funding it myself. Well, I just thought that's a good idea. I mean, there are many projects that I've started and I thought were going to be book projects, which have fallen aside because it just hasn't worked out. But all the good ideas, all the best work that I've done, almost all of them, I funded it myself. And once you do it, once you get a good set of images and you come back from the trip, then you can call up Nat Geo or Time or whatever, and they might run it, and then you start earning money. Halfway through the project, I started approaching close to 100 publishers. I just wrote to them, I individually wrote to them, not group emails. wrote to them. I knew, I looked up what they did and what they're doing now, and I wrote to them. And I told them what I was doing, and I gave them a sample of images. And I told them why it was important this was published. It was honest and it was concise. And luckily, a handful of them got back to me and said they were interested. Not only interested in publishing it, interested in funding it, funding the publishing. And that is the hardest thing to do nowadays, is to find a publisher of quality publishing your work and putting 100% of their own money into it. Everyone's crowdfunding, and there's nothing wrong with crowdfunding, but what has happened is it's told the publishers that, hey, we don't have to do anything, we don't have to take any risks. A photographer would spend 10 years on a story, come up with the idea, shoot it, take the risks, edit it, present it, and as an added bonus, he or she would walk in with 40,000, 50,000, whatever, on the table. So it's, and the publishers got lazy really, and greedy. And I think I'm very honest when I say that. They've become lazy and greedy. And, but they're, crowdfunding has got a lot of pluses, don't get me wrong, a lot of pluses, and a lot of really fine books have been done with it. But I would wish that the publishers would also come to the party a bit more. Well, I'm a photographer 100% of the time. And my work, as I'm getting older, changes year to year. I do advertising work, I do commercial work, I do documentary work. I spend 6 months away from home. So I think you need to have a real good mix of work. Sometimes the work mightn't pay well, but it's good for the soul. It's the air that you breathe. And I think you need to have money jobs, and you need to have the jobs that make you happy and make your family happy and make your friends happy, because there's nothing worse than a miserable photographer, because you give out a lot of bad vibes to the people that you love around you. So that's the only way to survive, I think, is you need to be flexible.